Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum. We are on IIUMFM, your campus radio. I am Fatin.
And I'm Gamon.
Alright, so today we are going to talk about something that's very special, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So basically, this is a new show by IIUMFM. It's called Empathy is Key. So from this segment, we're going to talk about different stories or different information that regarding on disabilities.
Alright, and the best part is that not only both of us are going to talk about this topic, but we have a very credible expert to discuss to this idea, which we are going to discover Surah Abasa. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a writer. He writes 19 books relevant to basic Islamic education and Islamic contemporary issues.
Yep.
And he has been teaching in IIUM and CFS for more than 5 hours. More than 5 years.
Yes.
More than 5 years. And promoted to assistant professor at the Department of Fundamental and Interdisciplinary Studies, FIDS IRKHS IIUM. We have here Assistant Professor Dr. Maulana Akbar. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
How are you,
Welcome to the
Doctor?
show.
Yeah, welcome to the show. How are you, Doctor?
Fine, very good, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
With the grace of God, very good.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
All
All right.
right.
So basically, for our show today, we're going to talk about Islam and disabilities. As you guys know, basically, disability is very it's in the rise as of now. But however, it's very people can see it in this world. However, but then people tend to overlook this issue regarding on disabilities and what more for the Muslim society. So that's why we are trying to raise awareness in regards to Islam and trying to bring out the Islamic perspective. And as you can see, we have our team is Surah Abasa.
Yes,
So,
exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, before we move further, let us watch Diet as our PSE in IIUM your campus radio.
Welcome back to IIUMFM, your campus radio, for the new show Empathy is Key with your host DJ Gamon.
And I'm Fatin Abila.
So right now we have Dr. Maulana here from IIKHS FIDS department,
Yes.
and we're going to talk about Islam and disability. So, sir, doctor, how do you actually define disability?
Alhamdulillah, disability. This mean is about anti or negative, and ability is a capacity, strength. So if you combine this and ability, it means that in ability a person cannot do the way the perfect people can do, the right people can do it. And if you want me to explain about the disability, it is an impairment in terms of people vision, and also you can include people who cannot hear properly. So on the other hand, people say it's a deaf. Or on the other hand, people who are mentally not strong, they have a mental problem, so or also sometimes their cognitive power is very less, so they have the intellectual problem. And also not necessarily that, but there are also extension of understanding about the disability is people who have the acquired brain injury. So because of the brain injury, they are unable to understand or recognize messages, information, data, or even the images. Therefore, they have difficulties to understand the way the other people can do that. At the same time, we can also include sort of autism. So autism also part of the disability, and it's sort of a spectrum discord we say about it. And basically all of this, if we come up and talk about the meaning of the disability, it's a mental and physical weakness or disability we can talk about.
Alright, nice one. We further to the next question. So meaning to say that, do you think that people nowadays are aware of the definition that you answered regarding on the disability?
Yeah, a few people really understand about what I have explained, but many of us just only think disabled mean they cannot, they are disabled, their physical disability only they see it. And basically they see a person is disabled, and then they thought he cannot walk, he has to use the wheelchair. So that much only people discuss about it or understand about it. And they never come and see about what that disabled person feel in their heart and in their mind.
Yep.
And when they look at the others with perfect situation, of course they feel something weakness, sadness. So the right person from Islamic perspective is when we see disabled people, make sure that you sympathize, you understand their needs, and you have to walk with them, you have to feel with them, you have to stay with them, you have to help with them. This is what Islam advises a Muslimin to help them.
Islam is all about the unity. It's all about helping each other out and not leaving each other behind. Because
Yes, exactly.
as the Ummah, we are supposed to help each other. We should not leave our brothers behind. So yes, that is a very good point. Thank you, sir, for your point.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So we go further to the next question, but before that, we listen to the PSA first of don't text while texting. Listen to our slot in only at IIUMFM.
Your campus radio. Welcome back to IIUMFM, your campus radio, with your host DJ Gamon,
And I'm Fatin in the slot of empathy is key, imparting knowledge on disability.
with our guest today, Dr. Maulana. So basically, we just gave us talk about what's disability in general, but we're trying to delve in more in towards the Islamic perspective, or what do you call it, from what is being shown in the Quran. For example, now I would like to ask you, sir, what is actually the message of Surah Abasa that Allah would like to convey? Because if you can see in Surah Abasa, it's about the blind man and the prophet, the story about that. So yeah, what's your input on that, sir?
Alhamdulillah, in Surah Abasa, what you have mentioned, when we read Surah Abasa and we understand the tafsir of the Surah Abasa, there are two types of people. Before Surah Abasa come, there is one surah above Surah Abasa is Surah An-Naziyat. The Surah An-Naziyat say that there are two type of people in this world. The first one is وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. You know, the people who got control their nafsu, they are the people who are going to go to paradise. وَأَمَّا مَنْ طَغَى وَآثَرَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا فَإِنَّ الْجَحِيمَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. The people who indulge in sin and also kinds of crime, they are the people who are going to. So now there are two types of people are mentioned over there. Same thing when you come back to Surah Abasa wa Tawalla, there are also different type of people you can see it. But not necessarily this surah, when it's talking about our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is directly indicating to the action of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Abasa wa tawalla an ja'ahul a'ma. Abasa mean a person, blind man, came to the Prophet. Ama, here when you talk about the ama means a person who is blind.
Yeah.
A person came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In tafsir, we say that that man is a Maktoum, is a sort of cousin to our the wife of the Prophet, Khadija radiyallahu anha. So when that time, and coincidentally, Prophet was busy with talking about the Islam with some of the dignity of the Arab, Quraysh there.
Yeah.
So when he was busy, Maktoum came in. Then Abasa means frown. Watawalla, he just declined to talk to him, or he gave him his back. It means that, in fact, Allah warned the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It say, "Aw yazzakaru fatan fa zikra." It means that this man come to talk to you. If you talk to him, at least he can get some message from you. He can benefit from you. Amma man istagna. When the blind came to you, you think that he is a perfect. Istagna means he doesn't need anything. He came to you that he needs something. That's why you have to give the attention to them. But it does not necessarily mean that to what our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it means that our Prophet doesn't know about this situation. In fact, he thought that what he was doing with the dignity of the Arab is more important. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come and warn that at least when Maktoum, the blind man came there, at least he should look into it, give some time to it. So probably he can also gain some benefit out of it. He can become more tazkiyah, mean he can also become more purified by doing that. So this is the way the Surah Abasa inform us about it. And it's also, we can get the message from this Surah Abasa is that Maktoum is also representing today what we are talking about, the disability.
Yes.
Right? So if you look at in this world, only 80% of the world population which is living in the underdeveloping and developing country. You can see 20% are in the developed country. Because developed country, they have all the facility,
Yes.
medical facility, social facility, economic facility. Therefore, they have a better position than those disabled living in the developing and underdeveloped country. Therefore, Maktoum's story of Surah Abasa wa Tawalla is reminding not only the Muslim but also the entire population, when the disabled come to you, you should not ignore them.
Yes.
At least you have to entertain them, ask them what is their need. Therefore, if you look at Surah Wadduha, what it say, فَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ, like a beggar who come to your door, you should not repel them. At least you ask them what is their need, because they are in need of your help and assistance. Therefore, we have to look at that one. So that is the message we can get it from Surah Abasa wa Tawalla. And also there are many incidents and also sort of stories which is coming from the Quran and Sunnah. Particularly in Sunnah, there are many things like that. And but if you look at in the history of the Islam, we have the one of the founder of the Mughal Empire. His name is Taimur. We call him in the history Taimur lame. Lame means his leg is sort of disabled. He cannot walk properly. You know the lame? Lame means the person who is not properly walk, that one.
Okay.
But you see how disabled people should take example of this person. He is a man in an ordinary, living in a very, very small village, but because of his will, though he is disabled, he become one of the great founder of the empire of the Mughal in India. So that's why we should take pride of being disabled, but still we can do better than able people.
Subhanallah, subhanallah.
MashaAllah.
Doctor, according to Surah Abasa, in ayah number 2, Allah mentioned Al-A'ma, the blind man, right? So a sin that the blind man is one of the physical disability. So does Surah Abasa cover mental disability as well?
Yeah. In fact, Surah Abasa, the first 12 ayah, in fact, it has around 40 ayah, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
The first 12 ayah, which is talking about Maktoum and his trying to become purified while asking the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and he has some of his questions. He wanted to get the clarification from the Prophet. For example, being a disabled, how he can perform. I'm just thinking, giving my own opinion, which is nothing to do with Surah Abasa, but still we can relate to Surah Abasa. When a blind coming to the Prophet, is it as is it the like in our classes, maybe a blind or a disabled student coming to ask the lecturer, how could we perform prayer though when we are blind? A blind, for example, if he is impurified, then very difficult to get the purification, taking the bath or wudu. For him is very difficult. For a perfect person is very easy. Anytime he can go to take bath, anything he can do it because he is an able person, right? But for disabled, he needs somebody to help him, even to go to the toilet, even to go to the wudu. Okay, he needs someone to help him. In that case, can he be able to do some sort of tayammum in place of if he got problem? For example, disabled person, he got the ihtilam. Ihtilam means the release of the sperm while he is sleeping or whatever. So what to do? The time of the prayer is also arrived. So in that case, can he do the tayammum? So these are the questions. A lot of questions can come up to the disabled person.
Yeah.
If it is the able person, of course, no problem. He just go and take the bath and finish. But disabled person, no one is helping at that time. No
Yeah, that's
one
very
is
sad,
around
yeah.
him. What he is going to do? This is about the fiqh and usulul fiqh issue, Islamic Sharia issue. Therefore, I would say that Islam is very kind to disabled person,
Subhanallah.
and according to Islamic Sharia, disabled person are equal to able person.
Subhanallah.
Therefore, the rights of the able person is also the same to the disabled person also. It means they are the right are the same. Financial aspect of the disabled are also the same thing. At the same time, inheritance. That's also they should get the equal share. Therefore, the Sharia perspective. If you look at today, we define the Sharia. For example, Maqasid Sharia. Maqasid Sharia, particularly Hifzun Nasab. Hifzun Nasab, let's say in our Nasab, in our lineage, someone is disabled. So what are we going to do with that? Because of his disability, can we make some sort of, we will discriminate him? No, Islam doesn't allow. Sharia doesn't allow.
Yeah,
Therefore, we must deal them equally, fairly, and squarely.
And it goes all the roots comes from basically from the surah itself.
Exactly.
And
So therefore, Surah Abasa give a great message.
Yes.
And also, if you look at Surah Abasa, where disabled person they can get the message is that they have many reward, and also the good points for you is though they are disabled, if they are purified, if their intention is very serious, clean, sincere, and honest, they can get double than those able people when do they pray, when they do any type of ibadah, they can get double, because able person can do easily, comfortably,
because of the sacrifice that they have to face.
exactly.
Yes.
But for the disabled, they have to sacrifice a lot, right? So therefore, Allah is just only not
Testing.
look at the faces of the people. Inna Allah la yanzuru suwarakum wa yanzuru qulubakum. Allah does not look at the faces of the people or complete nature of the people, physical stretch of the people. Allah just look at the heart of the people.
Subhanallah.
Therefore, the disabled people make sure their heart is clean, their intention is clean, they do what they need to do it. They shouldn't be disheartened or disappointed on their disability. Make sure that taking this spirit of getting the double reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so they should participate in any type of ibadah willingly and wholeheartedly.
Subhanallah. So meaning to say that Islam is very super holistic.
Alhamdulillah. This is why
Subhanallah.
Islam itself also holistic. It's
Yeah,
a very
even-
sort of comprehensive religion,
Yes, exactly.
which give the message and direction to every
Everything.
life, even living things or non-living things, or able or disabled.
And also the timeline perspective, even though the Quran was also revealed long time ago, but it's still very relevant in today, the
Yeah,
contemporary.
very valid. And that's why many of even non-Muslim today, they confess,
Yes.
though it is revealed 1,400 years ago,
Mashallah.
and the person, so they call the Prophet of Islam, he is illiterate. Okay, he just born in the desert. But how come such a message he brought to the mankind, which is so marvelous and astonishing, and still is valid and up to date?
Yeah.
So therefore, as a Muslim, either you are able or disabled, should be proud of that.
Nice one. Is indeed a very, very great answer.
True that.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So right now we're going to take a quick break. We're going to show you guys some advertisements. Please stay tuned in IIUMFM. Your
Not just advertisement, but we also have Assalamu alaikum from Harris J.
Yes.
All right.
So we're going to show you a couple of that, and stay tuned in IIUMFM, your campus radio.
All right.
Welcome back to IIUMFM, your campus radio, with your host DJ Gamon.
And I am Fatin. We are on slot. Empathy is key, imparting knowledge on disability with Dr. Maulana.
Yeah.
A very good one. And
Thank you
a
again.
very expert.
Thank you again for coming
Subhanallah.
to the show. So right now we're going to move on to the next question, which is
Yes.
more delving towards the contemporary, which is based on your perspective, sir. What can they, the disabled people, do in order to gain support?
Yes. Because that's what you said before. They have a lot of incapability to actually conduct their routines. So what can they gain the support?
Okay. In fact, to be able to come up to the level to encounter so many problems in our 21st century.
Yeah.
So these people make sure that they are having sort of determination.
Yeah.
The most important thing is, I know among all disabled, a few percentage came up to the level of education, economic, business, and so on and so on. But there are so many people living in the rural area.
Yes.
They cannot come up to that level.
Yes.
So majority of them feel that our life is just disabled. We cannot do anything.
Yes.
So most of them, they are frustrated.
Yes.
So in that case, I wanted to give some of the ideas to those disabled. So why they should frustrate, or why they feel themselves that they are discriminated. So to overcome this problem, I have some suggestion. So number one is they have to learn about their disability. What is my problem? I am blind, I am deaf, I'm unable to walk. So how are we going to, overcome this problem? At least they must have that spirit. I mean, the intention to improve their disability. Don't just sit down at the corner or in your just house. I cannot do anything. No, there are a lot of other, capabilities and the stretch in you. So only thing is, the first thing is, make sure that you have the intention to improve your disability, number one. Number two is, make sure that sometimes people cannot accept their disability.
Yes.
How I become deaf, how I become blind.
You tend to blame everything.
Meaning from the beginning you have this problem.
Yeah.
So you accept it.
Yeah.
Yes, I have this problem. I cannot deny that one. This is seen, and this is very, obvious.
Yeah.
So number two is, my suggestion for disabled is that you have to accept the reality, your situation, number two. Number three is that how are you going to overcome? Try to find out, right? What are the things is better for me if you are the blind, or if you are the disabled, or if you are the deaf. So what are you going to do? Instead of feeling grief and sadness, don't keep it yourself in that corner, or that limit, or that situation. You should make up that you come up. I have to do something. Though I am disabled, still I can do other things.
Yes.
Like there are many, one of the scientists, you may hear about this, Stephen
Hawking.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Disabled, I would also like to tell you, they are impairment in their vision, in their hearing, or five sense. Not only sense, sometimes they have the brain injury. Another is their spinal cord. The effect on their spinal cord, defect in their spinal cord. In that case, they cannot sit the way we, perfect people are sitting. So therefore, to overcome that one, if you look at the Stephen Hawking, though he is totally paralyzed, not only simple paralyzed, he cannot move his spine. But there are, with many support, he come up. Now you see at the end he become the great scientist. And his theory of the black hole is become the top agenda for the scientists to further explore. Therefore, our brothers who are disabled should not be disheartened. So make sure that I can do something better for this. Number four is, do you best to keep positive. Make sure that most of the disabled people, they don't want to come up before people, and you should leave this one. Make sure that you are positive. You can do that, because there is all forces of the negatives are always forcing you to go back. So you make sure that you have, therefore, behavioral communication is very important.
Yes.
In behavioral communication, there are 4 types of behavioral communication. Number 1 is you are assertive. Number 2, you are passive. Number 3, some of you are active and passive. And number 4 is sometimes you are aggressive also. But for the disabled, instead of active or passive, you should make sure that you are aggressive. You can come up to the level like perfect people. I can do it. I can graduate. I can become master. I can become PhD. This is the way
Subhanallah.
you can make it
I
further.
think this is actually talks back to your previous point, like when you say that people who are disabled actually receive more awards because they actually work 3 times or 4 times harder than the normal people do.
Yes.
So
And
that's what's the
And it
point.
applies to the reward in Islam as well.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
got double reward.
Yeah, double
Yeah.
reward they can get it
Yeah.
because they effort more than what the normal people
Exactly,
can,
yes.
can do it.
Meaning to say that the reward is dunya wal akhirah.
Yeah.
both
Subhanallah,
dunya and akhirah.
subhanallah.
The Prophet said, "Fi dunya hasana, wa fil akhirati
I
hasana."
think that's what I think we really have to change the perception of the public on how we see
Yeah.
people with disabilities.
And
Yeah.
most important thing is that the perception of those disabled people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They are
particularly
capable actually.
other the perfect people,
Mhm.
able people,
Yeah.
whatever they think, that is their way of thinking.
Mhm.
But I'm very much concerned about the feeling and also disposition of the disabled people.
Yes.
Because most of the time they are frustrated and
Mhm.
discriminated because of the disability.
Mhm.
So now we wanted to advise these people, okay,
Mhm.
they should come up in that one. And also, sometimes people they violate themselves. I cannot do that. It is very big problem. So in that case, make sure that Allah is with you, our Prophet is with you, and Surah Abasa is with you,
Mhm.
and it gives you a lot of support and highlight to you, so you can come up to the level and you can overcome, you can achieve the objective you have to set up. Therefore, I want to say particularly for disabled people,
Mhm.
make sure that you have to set up objective in your life, though you are
Subhanallah.
disabled.
Alright. So basically what we can say is that the first thing first, you must to have the intention to improve your disability, and you have to accept the reality. You have to overcome it, keep on being positive and set
Yeah.
the objective, subhanallah.
Yeah. When they set up the objective, make sure that they focus. Not only they just attempt for 1 or 2 times. Make sure that they focus on their objective, and also another thing is, after focusing, there are a lot of community services available in our society. They have to find out what are the resources available in their society.
Mhm.
There are hospitals are available, schools are available, government projects are available, UN projects are available, schools are available, university are available. Every society and institution, they are bringing up special attention to the disabled people. So therefore, disabled group or who are representing these people,
nice.
they should find out the resources, what is available for them.
Yeah, in order
So-
to maximize their potential.
yeah,
Ah.
it is there. They have to come up and ask about it.
Understand.
Another thing is, okay, other thing we can do it. At the same time, they have to also think about their own problem of the disability.
Oh.
For example, for the blind or the deaf or the disabled, they have to continue to find out see the therapist or
true.
psychotherapist or counselor, see them, contact them, get the appointment, get their suggestion to improve their problem also. Right? This is also one of the very important point. Many disabled people forget to improve that. They just leave it on their luck or their qadwa and qadar. It is what is happened to me. I cannot improve. No, there's a big room for them to improve.
Yes,
so they have to
exactly.
always try to go and improve them. Another thing is they can go for individual therapy. At the
Yes.
same time, in our society, a group therapy is available for this disabled people.
True.
So it is also available. And also another thing is government also opening the agency to help them.
Yes,
So
exactly.
individual level, societal level, governmental level, there are many facilities available for this people. I mean disabled group. They can go to find that one.
Subhanallah.
Another thing is, I don't know whether in Malaysia or third world country, this type of assistance is available or not, we are not sure. But in the foreign country, there is a sort of a service dogs are available.
Mhm.
And this service dog assists the disabled person, particularly leading, showing the way, and also helping them. This is one of the great help. Even the able people cannot help them. Therefore, animals are trained to help. This is available in the Western
Subhanallah.
country, but probably in the Eastern and Malaysia or whatever, this ASEAN country may also develop this kind of things.
May I ask what kind of animals that offer help to help these disabled people?
Particularly, the dogs are more intelligent. than the other animal. So the dogs can be trained. There are different type of dog. I am going to give you 3 type of dog. One dog very loyal but always barking. One dog very loyal but is all very pretty.
Yes.
So therefore, don't choose the one who is always barking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't choose the one who is very pretty.
why not?
But there are
Another dog.
the neutral one,
Okay.
wasatiya approach.
what's the
Subhanallah.
The guy less bark and also less pretty, but still always stand by toward his boss.
Yeah.
So disabled person, if they have that type of dog, I think it will be very helpful to him.
Okay, just one short question. Can it be applied to Muslims, the dog itself?
And unfortunately, from Islam, when you talk about the dog, people they say it is haram,
haram, yeah.
or they just do it like this. So, but I think if Maqasid Sharia, one of the points of Maqasid Sharia, the Hifzun Nafs, I mean protection of life. So when protection of life is concerned, for example, if you have nothing to eat, even the pork become halal for you.
Yes,
In case of
exactly.
danger and in a very critical moment. So why not dog if he is helpful to you?
True.
This is my personal suggestion and view, but it does not represent the Sharia law.
I actually, to be honest, your statement earlier regarding on setting up like a lot of the therapy session thing for disabled people, because nowadays, I think in the aspect of mental health and also when it comes to disabled is something very important. And I really like when you said it, because we need to really set up, institutions really need to set up and place a lot of importance towards the what's it called? How do you call this? Therapies for these people. So it's a good thing that you mentioned it. Thank you, sir.
And the best part is that accept the reality
Yes.
and overcome from it.
We have to, people who are
Subhanallah.
facing this, we have to always look at it in a positive aspect instead of tend to blame others or blaming why you being like this. So
Yes, true.
Another thing is most of us do not know how to deal with disabled people.
yeah,
Because you just only look at from the physical perspective. But if you look at their mental and spiritual perspective, there are do and don't for dealing with the disabled people. I want to give the message to the able people,
Yes.
the people who are perfect. You should be sympathized, and I want to give you some of the
Exactly.
suggestions.
Doctor, can we skip the answer?
we will.
The next section.
So we
Can
just want to ask you one question before
Yes.
our next break,
Yes.
which is. What are the best and most effective communication that both parties can do in order to achieve better understanding, thus fulfilling interest of what has been stated in Surah Abasa?
Yeah, just a quick one.
Just a
Yeah.
quick one.
The Surah Abasa is giving the message to particularly to able people, able people that make sure that you have you sympathize the disabled, you understand the problem of the disabled. You should not ignore those people who have been ignored by the million of people today in our world.
So you're saying that the solution actually starts from you itself, because when people follow you, who don't understand the disabled, many people will see you as an example, thus leads to people following you. So I think it starts from you as the movement for
Yeah.
accepting others.
Particularly the leaders of the society, imam of the society, rector of the university,
Yeah.
and the prime minister of the government.
Yeah.
They are the people who should be as a role model.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
To stand on behalf of the disabled people.
So that the
I
things-
think now it's some of the governments are already taken initiative.
Yes.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes. In special institutions, for example, of course, IUM, they are
Yeah.
having a lot of
IIUM is
initiative.
doing a lot of facilities
Yes.
for disabled people.
Yes, exactly.
Road and also the way and also many facilities.
Subhanallah.
We
So-
have seen in our IIUM environment, and
Yeah.
even the IIUM now creates such a IIUM FM program and facilitating and disseminating the information to the campus as well as in the country.
Yes, exactly, doctor. So that the facilities can be distributed equally, fairly, and squarely, is what you mentioned before. All right, we go to the PSA first, social media privacy. Stay tuned on IIUMFM,
Your
your...
campus radio.
All right.
Welcome back to IIMFM, your campus radio. with your host DJ Gamon.
And I am Fatin on the slot of Empathy Scheme Party Knowledge on Disability. We are with Dr. Maulana. Subhanallah, the discussion is very, very, very awesome.
It was a
Did you
very
think?
I really enjoyed it because we get to know a lot of things
Yes, exactly.
from this short period of time.
Yes,
And
exactly.
we want to continue with this session.
Yes. Next question. Next answer. Yeah.
We're going to continue our answer.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, the question which is raised earlier, I wanted to also give the message to the able people,
Yeah.
the people who have all the facilities and full mental and physical strength. Make sure that when you deal with disabled people, there are some do and don't. I want to give you the message. For example, when you see the blind or the deaf or disabled, don't hold their arm. They are very angry because they thought that, oh, I am unable to, I am disabled, therefore he wanted to show me or he wanted to make a bossy or something like that. So therefore one of the advice is, don't hold the arm of these disabled people, number one. Number two, if a person is deaf, you don't shout before the deaf person. Because you see, though they know their weakness, but still they don't like it.
It's,
Yes,
it's rude. I find
Yes,
it pretty rude.
because you see, you are telling him, though you are not telling you are deaf,
Yeah.
but you are indirectly telling him by shouting before him.
Yes.
Therefore, you should avoid this one. Number
Indeed,
three,
action speaks louder than words.
exactly.
Yeah.
The action is made louder than your
Words.
words. Another thing is, sometimes, as I mentioned, there is a sort of guide dogs are available. So when a person lost a dog or when the person unable to find the dog, sometimes the able people are blaming the dog. Hey, why you are not looking after your master? So this type of action also making the disabled person more angry. When you discriminate or when you harsh on the disabled, he can he can be tolerate. But if you harsh on the dog, they become more intolerable and they feel very sad and bad
Yes.
because they sympathize their dog. So therefore, same thing apply to anything which belong to the disabled people. You have to deal them with a great honor and great dignity. For example, the back of the disabled, the anything which belong to disabled, you have to handle with great care and great attention to them. For example, a pencil of the disabled person. For you, that pencil is nothing. But for the disabled person, that pencil mean a lot. So you have to make sure that you handle it very carefully and give it to the hand of the disabled person.
Understand.
This make disabled person have an honor to him, and he feel much better. He feel honored. This is the way you can also, and also talking to a wheelchair user. You have to also make sure that a person is using the wheelchair. So when you talk to them, don't make them that they have to use wheelchair necessarily. This also make dishearten the disabled people.
Yes.
So particularly when the disabled person crossing beside you with the wheelchair, you should ignore that man is just only rely on the wheelchair. It also depends on how you look at the disabled person. When you look at the disabled person, basically as Surah Abasa, we frown at them. Another thing is we have a sort of that in our look there are sort of sadness in our eyes, or you can also say sort of frown or disgrace in our eyes. So we should not have that one. Instead, as soon as we see the disabled person, make sure that your eye is open up and you are trying to support him, give him the very big smile at him, instead of making your face frown and also sad, oh, this guy is a disabled person. Don't do that action. They become very sad and they become very sorry for that one.
Like
Another thing is, don't speak directly to them.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't want to talk to the disabled person, and then there are someone who is helping the disabled person. Instead of talking to the disabled, we talk to him. Hey, what he need? You want to drink? So don't do that one.
Yeah.
Just talk to the disabled person directly. He want direct treatment.
Mm.
And
Yes.
there we make the mistake asking the another person.
I think I don't know what they're feeling, but I think what these people want is actually to be treated the same.
Exactly.
Yes.
And also, I think I heard about this from other people. It's like I'm not sure if it's right or wrong, but the way how people were able people to talk to these people, especially those with wheelchairs.
Wheelchair.
I think they say that it's like, you know, when you talk to people with wheelchair, you tend to at least show some respect, but at least trying to crouch down when you try to speak to these people. I think that's just basic ethics, and I think it talks a lot about humanity
Yeah.
towards these kind of people.
Yeah.
So
This is what Surah Abasa
Yeah,
reminds.
exactly. So all in all, we deal with them with hikmah.
Yes.
With hikmah.
Yes.
People doesn't know about Alim and Hakim. There's a two
Yes.
asma. Alim is a knowing thing, but hikmah, how you apply what you know.
Understand. So we go further to the next question. So what are the best alternatives that the government should promote to help this group?
Yeah, I think nowadays, particularly in Malaysia, government, there is one of the section in the Prime Minister of it.
Okay.
They set up a director to be take care of these disabled people, and there are many things they have come up. So what I was government plan, particularly Prime Minister office is providing these facilities to the disabled people. So number one is there is a sort of a housing facilities for disabled people. If disabled, they don't have the housing, then they can start looking for either putting application to obtain the houses. They can do so, number one. Another thing is there is a system, caring and nurturing system developed by the government. So disabled people should attain the knowledge and message and information. So what are the care and the nurturing system? They can get it. They can explore for this one. Number three, there is also government is also providing appropriate sitting area, particularly for disabled people.
Yes.
But problem is, able people are trying to sit that one.
You
So-
can see
That's
in
the
the
problem.
LRT, for
LRT.
example, the
Yes.
priority seats in Malaysia, the LRT, the red seats.
Exactly.
You can see in a busy day, like at 5 p.m., you can see these people sitting down
Yeah.
there. But actually, I want to contribute something. When I was back in Japan, and I went to Japan for a holiday, I was actually looking at the people in the priority seat. It was empty, despite how busy Japan's train subway stations are. They still have the respect. I think it
Yeah.
starts from the beginning.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
From the elementary education, we have to place priority towards this kind of people.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
Same
respect.
thing, parking area for the disabled people.
In
IIUM also, if you
Astaghfirullah.
look at able people always take over the parking of the disabled people. This is also one of the very sad scenario. Another thing is facilities for the disabled people. Program is already on the website. They can look into it, or the group who is looking after the disabled people, or for example NGO, they can directly contact to the government's Prime Minister office. There is a section particularly dedicated to look after the interests of the disabled people. We can also do that one. Another thing is Prime Minister office advise each and every community to set up a club for the disabled people.
Oh,
So they shouldn't just stay idle at home. They can try to go and talk to the people, community work, or participate in that program. It will be very good for it because they have the training centers set up there.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
That training center give them whatever they need assistance. Either they need physically or from the physiotherapist or for their educational progress. Even if they are really good and also completed their matriculation or grade secondary schools. If they want to go for further studies in college or diploma or undergraduate level,
True.
even for them there are some scholarships are also available.
Yes,
So
exactly.
why don't they go for try to get that one?
That's when you said before, these disabled people, in order to maximize their potential, you yourself have to find the resources.
That's the way.
And that's the alternative or the main platform for you to like really boom yourself up.
Exactly.
Right.
Not only that, government also instructed the health ministry to come up with a program how to assist disabled people. Therefore, in the community, there is a healthcare facilities are also available. At the same time, educational program are also available. Not only that, if disabled people completed their graduations or whatever, even there are instruction to the institution, particularly business center and also the business area, industry, to employ disabled people. So there is also one of the possibility that there is a special quota for the disabled people. They can continue to go for that. And also there is a vocational rehabilitation centers are also set up by the governments of Malaysia, because I do my research on government of Malaysia and its activities. But more or less, many of the ASEAN countries as well as the Europe and America, there are such a facilities are available. This rehabilitation center. This rehabilitation center facilitate the disabled people, particularly the blind or the deaf or the disabled. What are the mechanisms they can come up to overcome their problem? So these are the things we can make for them. Another thing is, you see our roads are very busy. Traffics are very jammed, right? We don't know how to go further. And is there any walking place for the disabled? Majority of us never thought about basically for the disabled people. So now you can find the walking place for the disabled people. It is also very interesting to know about this.
Yes, exactly, Doctor.
Sir, I just want to say that the points that you have elaborated just now was very insightful, and I have to admit that it is actually
Credible, yeah.
and we really appreciate the things. And of course, this thing is basically the points that you've been given is actually how do you call that? It's a way.
Impactful.
It's very impactful.
Yes,
Where
exactly.
of course, we are here in order to create awareness.
Yeah.
And I really, we both appreciate it, not only us, but I think people who are going to listen to this podcast,
Yes, exactly.
who are going to watch our show, are really going to appreciate it so much because of your contributions. And we
the
can't
best
thank you
part is
enough.
that,
Alhamdulillah.
and the best part is that it's not just impactful to one party, but to the both party, the
Yes.
disabled and the community.
Sure,
That's
sure,
really,
sure.
really awesome. And to conclude this, we go further to the next one, the last one. What would be your words in encouraging the disabled group to not give up in life easily?
Alhamdulillah, because you see, I'm talking to you from the not only from Islamic perspective or from religious perspective. You see, either you are disabled or able person. At the end of the day, we are all human beings.
Subhanallah.
See, for human being to be overcome all the problem of this dunya,
Yeah.
make sure that you must understand the three conditions. This is very important. Either you are able or disabled. Number one, we make sure that we practice our ethical values. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is successful, and because of these 7 values of ethical values, he practiced in his life. Therefore, I wanted to give you the message to the entire world, either you are able or disabled. Number one, you must be patient. Number two, you have to be kind.
Subhanallah.
Number three, you have to also love the people, animal, living
Yes.
thing, non-living thing. If you don't have these 3 qualities, people will not accept you. Number 4, at the same time, you have to be responsible.
Yes.
You are patient, you are kind, you are responsible. If you don't have the humbleness, this is number 5.
Subhanallah.
If you are not humble, though you are responsible, people will not love you. You are disabled, but still you must be also humble toward.
Yeah, I
This
really
is the
agree with
5.
that. Yes.
Number 6, you also should be also punctual. Either you are able or disabled. As long as you do the thing punctuality is very important, because even for the prayer, inna salata kanat alal mu'minina kitaban mawquta, even the prayer has to be done on time.
Yes.
This is also one of the quality that
Subhanallah.
disabled people, particularly, you need to do things on time. Last but not the least about the ethical value is about the istiqamah. إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا تتنزل عليهم الملائكة ألا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة التي كنتم توعدون. If you are really istiqamah, even the malaika from the heaven, they come down and they are going to help you. It is about your ethical values. Second, about social norms and cultural norms. Every human being, either you are Buddhist or Hindu or you are Muslim or you are Judaism or you are Christianity, you must make sure that you observe the social norm. Social norm means when you go to meet with the people, for example in Malay, we handshake and we kiss the hand of our elder.
Yes.
This is our social norm, because as soon as you do it, people love you.
Yes,
You see
exactly.
the woman, you respect them. You see the elder, you love them. You see the younger one, you help them. This is the way our social norm. Cultural norm, make sure that you observe the culture of every nation.
Exactly.
Subhanallah.
Last but not the least is the humanistic nature.
Yeah.
Humanistic nature which is above every religion. Either you are Muslim or Buddhist or Hindu or whatever. As long as you realize the needs of the human is what human consciousness. As long as you reach and understand and apply the human consciousness in everywhere, people will come to hug you, embrace you, help you and assist you.
Exactly.
This is why the human consciousness is the highest level of the ethics and the value. So last, what I want to talk about is, if these three value, particularly the ethical values, social norm and humanistic consciousness, if you apply, either you are able or disabled, you will be successful. Since our talk is on the
Islam
on
and
the
disability,
focus
yeah.
on the Islam and disability,
Yeah.
so I would advise, or I would suggest disabled society that you should not always disheartened. You should always come up with a great hope, because you are with Allah. Allah is with you. So
Should not give up
man
easily,
kana
yeah.
lillahi kana Allahu lahu.
Exactly.
And
Mashallah.
if you are with Allah, Allah will come up to you. In tansurullaha yansurkum. If you love Allah, if you help Allah, if you love Islam, Allah will come and help you. Islam will come.
The most important thing is your faith towards
Yeah.
God and also with others too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go
and-
back to what doctor said. Initially, the intention, pure intention is needed
Yeah.
in order
Innamal
to
a'malu
realize
binniyat.
this
Yeah.
thing.
Without this
Subhanallah.
intention and faith, I don't think we can go further in life, and that's why thank you for contributing to these such points. And
Yes, exactly.
for this show, I think we are coming to an end for this show for Islam and disabilities.
Thank you so much
Thank you
again.
so
You're
much
most
once again
welcome.
for
Alhamdulillah.
coming to this show. It's
Yeah,
an honor
Alhamdulillah.
for you
Yes.
to attend the show. And don't forget to tune in to IIUMFM, your campus radio, on certain schedule.
All right, then we are going to proceed with our set fire to the rain by Adele.
And take care. Assalamualaikum.
I'm Fatin.
I'm Gamon.
Thank you again, Dr. Maulana, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Indeed is-
Assalamualaikum
Yeah.
warahmatullahi
Stay
wabarakatuh.
tuned in IIUMFM, your campus radio.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
All right, nice one. Alhamdulillah.